Hello, everyone, and welcome to this segment of Microsoft Excel. In this segment, I'd like to talk a little bit about sorting and filtering, two very powerful tools you can do with Excel. And as usual, they're pretty easy once you figure out the fundamentals. So in Excel, whenever we have our table or data range, typically when it's complete, sometimes we want to change kind of the view of our data. And we can do that basically in two ways. We can sort or filter, or both. Okay, so sorting refers to rearranging the values according to some order. Filtering, on the other hand, refers to hiding certain values that don't match a specific criteria that we need, okay, that we're looking for. So first we're going to talk about sorting, and then we'll get to filtering. So as we can see here, we have a data range here with our sales by region. Column B here lists each particular sales region, and next to those regions are our specific salespeople that work for those regions. And then over here in column C, we have that salesperson's number of orders and their total sales for 2020 over here in column D. So we have this data range all set up, and sometimes what we want to do is just arrange the values in some specific way to make it maybe easier to follow, or it just helps us home in on certain categories that we want to look for. So whenever we, again, in Excel, we always call this sorting. So we can do a simple sort, which would be, for example, just alphabetizing names or something along those lines. But you can also do more complicated sorts, and you can sort by different levels, okay? And that will be called a custom sort. So in Excel here, you're going to find the sorting tool in basically two tabs. You're going to see it up here in the Home tab. Over in the Editing group, you'll see the Sort and Filter button here. Also, you'll find it in the Data tab. I'll click on that real quick, and you'll see a Sort and Filter group, and you'll see Sort here and Filter over here. But for now, for today's purposes, I'm going to stay with the Home tab and use this button over here in the Editing group. So the first step with sorting is to just select any cell in the data range that you're working with. Okay, any of the values in this range. So I just selected A2 because that's where my first value is. So let's say I want to sort by name. Okay, I want to alphabetize by name. I'm going to go over here to the Editing group and click on Sort and Filter. Okay, now to do a simple sort, I could just click on Sort A to Z right here. So let me try that, and there we go. Okay, so it's sorted every value in here by last name, A through Z. Okay, and you'll notice too that when it does that, it automatically expands the selection, which means that it took the values associated with that particular name and moved those with it. So I didn't lose any of that information. Okay. Now I want to show you quickly a custom sort. So let's say I'll try the same thing. I'm going to go back to the Editing group. In fact, let me undo this real quick. So let me go up here to the Quick Access toolbar, click on the little undo arrow, get back to where we were. And once again, I'll click on cell A2. Then I'm going to go back over here to the Editing group and click on Sort and Filter. This time I'm going to click on Custom Sort. And from here, I get a little dialog box, and I can basically build my levels of where I need to sort by. So the first thing, whenever you're using this custom sort box, first step, always look at this little indicator right here. It says My Data Has Headers. Make sure that's checked off. As long as it's checked, if I click on Sort By, it will list each column label in that drop down. If I don't have it checked off, it's just going to list generic column letters. Okay, so by clicking this, it kind of helps you navigate your different column labels a little better. Okay, so let's say I want to sort by name. I could click name. I want to sort on the values and keep it A to Z. Now this would do the same thing. Okay, I can click OK, and we're back to where we were, just like when we clicked sort A to Z. Let me go back to that Sort and Filter button again here, and then click on Custom Sort again. Okay, now let's say I want to sort by region and by name. So in other words, I want all the, let me look over here real quick. So for instance, I see Rocky Mountains. So it's going to group all the Rocky Mountain regions together, and then all the salespeople that belong to that region, and then those salespeople will be in alphabetical order. So it's going to sort by 2 levels. Now, the only rule here is that whenever we sort by multiple levels, it's best to work, start with the broadest or broader, and then to the more specific from the top down. So in other words, I would want to start with region as my initial sort, and then name as my next sort. So you want to start with the broader or broadest, and then get more specific as you go down. So I'm going to change this sort by to region. Okay, and then I want to add a level because I also want to sort it by name. So I'm going to click add level. So now it says then by. So now I can click this drop down and then click name. Okay, again, I'm starting with the broader of the 2 and then going to the more specific, which would be name. Now, and this region is broader because we have multiple instances of certain values. So for example, I have multiple Rocky Mountains, I have multiple Mid-East, I have multiple Southwest, so on and so forth. So that's why I call that broader. Now, let's just make sure, let's check all the other fields. We're sorting on the values. And again, we're going to keep both A to Z, so that works. So all we have to do now is click OK. Okay, now look what it did. First of all, it sorted. The first level was region. So we have far west, that comes first alphabetically. F, G, M, N, so on and so forth. Now within each region, I have all the salespersons associated with that region. And those salespersons are also alphabetized A to Z. See, and then once I get to the new region for Great Lakes, the alphabet starts over again for the names. Right here, DLSX. Okay, so it's a fairly simple thing to do, that custom sort. And again, as long as you remember that rule, let me go back real quick. Okay, really 2 rules here. Make sure this box is checked for my data has headers. Also, always work, you want to start with regions first, and then, excuse me, go with the broader first and then more specific after that. Okay, now I'm going to get, actually, you know, we can leave our table alone here. Now I want to talk about filtering. So again, filtering is a little different here, and that filtering actually will hide certain values depending on your criteria. So let's see. Again, I'm just going to click on any cell in my data range. I'm going to go up to the editing group in the home tab and click on sort and filter. Now this time I'm going to click on filter from this drop down. Okay, let's go back to our data range and look what happened. You'll notice that in each column label, there is a little drop down arrow now. Okay, and those are the individual filters for those columns. So it's pretty simple. Let's go to region here and click on this drop down. Okay, and as I said, filtering will hide certain values and only show you other ones that you want. So I have all my different region values listed here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to deselect all of them so I can select the ones I want. So I'm going to click in this box to select all, and that will undo all of those check marks. Now let's say I only wanted to see New England and Rocky Mountains. So I clicked on only those 2 values. Now I click on OK. And here it is. It went ahead and hid all the other values besides, and only left me with New England and Rocky Mountains. Okay, now if you look again up here at the drop down arrows, you will notice that the one for region has a little filter icon next to it. That's a little indicator letting you know that this column is filtered. So that's always good to know, just in case you forget, in case you look at this and say, oh, this is all my data, you know, you'd be mistaken because it's actually filtered. So it's just letting you know that it is filtered and that there are more values. In fact, if I look to the left, another indicator here, you'll notice that the individual row numbers, okay, are still intact for those specific values. Okay, so that just is another way of knowing. So now to turn that filter off, all I have to do is click on the little icon again, and this time I can just click Clear Filter from Region, and that will just undo the entire filter. Okay. Now there are other types of filters besides just hiding values. I can also filter out certain things based on almost like quantities. Okay, and we call those number filters. We also have text filters, which I'll get to in just a second. So for example, let's go to the number of orders column here, and let's say I only want to see orders 800, the number of orders 800 or more. Okay, I don't want to see anything under that. So I'm going to click on the drop down for that column. Okay, now this time I need to go to this little option for number filters. And you'll see a number of different ways to filter it. Now in this case, we want 800 or more, so I'm going to click on greater than or equal to. Because again, it's 800 or more, so it's either going to be, it can be equal to 800 or greater than 800. So I'm going to type in 800, I'm going to click OK, and there you have it. Now it's showing me only the number of orders 800 or more. Okay, now I'm going to quickly undo that again. So I'm going to click on the little filter icon, come down here, click on Clear Filter from Number of Orders, and now I'm back to where I was. Okay, another thing I can do is a text filter. So let's just say I want to, for some reason, I just want to see the employees whose last name starts with the letter C. So I can do that. I can click on the drop down here in the name column, column A, come down here and click on text filters. And then I can put in begins, click on begins with. I'm just going to type in the letter C. I'll click OK since it begins with the letter C. Now it's showing me only those names that begin with the letter C. Okay, and again, I'm going to clear that filter. I'm going to click on the little filter icon and click Clear Filter from Name. Okay, now for this next exercise, I'm going to quickly clear my sort here. I'm going to go to Custom Sort. Actually, they're already clear. So let's see if I can quickly rearrange this. Okay, I just wanted to rearrange it in some way so you get the full effect here. Let me get rid of that now. Okay, so we can always, the last thing I want to show you is we can always combine a filter and a sort. So let's say I want to know the top highest sales, or excuse me, the top 10 highest sales, and then I want to organize those results by region and then my last name. So I'm doing filtering and then sorting. So the first thing I'm going to do is filter the total sales to show me only the top 10 highest. So I'm going to go to my total sales here, column D, and click on that drop down. Now I'm going to go to number filters, and I see that there is an option right here for top 10. I click on top 10. I could always change it to top whatever I need it to be, but in this case, we're going to leave it alone at top 10. I'll click OK, and now it's showing me the top 10 dollar values, the top 10 sales across the board. Now that I have that filtered, I can then sort. So I can sort by region and then by last name. So now all I have to do is come up here to my sort and filter, click on custom sort. I'll sort by region. I'll add a level, and then I'll sort by last name. I'll click OK, and there we have it. Region first, arranged alphabetically, F, G, M, N, P, R, S. And then within each of those regions, for example, Plains here, the last names are indeed alphabetical. Okay, So that was just a few quick, simple exercises in sorting and filtering, but it is a very, very useful tool in Excel. I hope you can really use that, and good luck if you try this on your own. And please stay tuned for another video where I go over another way to look up your data, and that's using the VLOOKUP function. Okay, so thanks for watching and take care.